What up, y'all? You alive and direct on Clutch Sports Talk Radio. It's your boy, the host, Mr. Famous Fees. Hey, man, I got a couple of cool guests with me today. Actually, my man just came to check us out. Then I got my man G-Pap. He's returning. He came in before. He's got a lot more to say today. So, man, holla at the people for me right quick.
What's going on, world? It's your boy G-Pap coming in on G-Pappy Sports, and we here with it to talk some sports today. Let's get it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, got a nice lineup for you. You know, always got all kind of content that's on deck, ready to go. Man, we're going to start this thing off. I'm going to talk to y'all about Wimbledon because for those of y'all who do watch, man, the Wimbledon final was crazy. Man, after we hit the Wimbledon, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about we'll cover a couple of NFL divisions. We'll do the AFC South, the AFC North. We'll talk about the NBA duos. Just the Western Conference. There's so many of them. Like I could talk about that for like 3 hours. So we're gonna keep it to the West for a minute. If we have some time, I will chop it up about this Manny Pacquiao and Keith Thurman fight too. So man, y'all stay in, stay tuned. Let's go ahead on and just get right to it. So man, on Sunday in Wimbledon, in the final, Novak Djokovic and Roger Federer met. What was that? That was their 48th match, like their 48th meeting between the two. It was one of the most epic Wimbledon finals ever. It was actually the first time that the Wimbledon has ever ended in a tiebreak in the final in the fifth set. Granted, the only reason that was the first time it's ended in a tiebreak is because they just changed the rule. Because it used to be no tiebreak and they would just play forever until everybody passed out and their muscles locked up. I mean, if you remember the Anderson versus Isner match, it was 26-24 in the fifth set. So they had to put a stop to that. Now it's go to a tiebreak at 12-12 in the fifth set, so they don't kill players. But man, that was man. Djokovic won all three tiebreaks. So he won the first set, the third set, and the fifth set, and all three of them were in the tiebreak. I mean, there were some very, very tight sets. It looked at times like Djokovic was going to run away with it. Other times it looked like Federer clicked in the mode, like he was going to go ahead and take it. Then. Like, man, that last set, like it seemed like there was a turning point because I really personally thought that when Novak Djokovic hit the ball into Federer, like he hit him with the ball. Well, he almost hit him. Federer's reflexes were so quick, he actually hit the ball with the racket, but it was right at him and they were up close. He kind of glared back and was looking like, oh, so you really not going to apologize or nothing? Like, so you're not going to even be like, my bad. Like, he didn't even turn around and look at him. That man looked like Federer got upset at that point and he started balling. But then Novak clicked back in the mode. He broke him and they kept it rolling. I mean, it was 7-7 at that point. I mean, obviously it kept riding because it ended up at 12-12. It's like, man, that is nuts. So, I mean, after watching this, that gave Novak his 16th major title, putting him in third place overall. He was still in third all time. So now he's two major victories ahead of Pete Sampras. He's 2 behind Nadal and 4 behind Federer. So my question here is Novak Djokovic actually the greatest tennis player of all time? Like has he surpassed Federer and Nadal? Even though he's a couple of major victories behind them, he seems to be playing better tennis than everyone.
I don't think he's the greatest right now. I believe Roger Federer is still the greatest, but I feel like Novak he's able and capable to beat both Nadal and Federer any given day. The difference between him and Federer is that Federer he gets it done. He's been doing it for a long time. Like I've been watching this man play tennis since I was in elementary, and he just gets it done. Like you say, he has that natural aggressive. Like when the tennis ball hit him, he just get in that mode and he started, this grind and he get it right. So I don't believe Novak is the greatest. I think it's Roger Federer, then Nadal, and then Novak.
I mean, that's what the numbers say as far as major victories, but you also have to take into consideration that Roger Federer went pro in 1998. Novak didn't go pro until 2003, and Rafa jumped in 2001. So like they all came at a different time to be where they are. They're actually ranked in that order of when they actually went pro. So it's only natural to think that if he keeps playing, I mean, Novak is 32 and Roger is 37.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I would venture off to say that Roger's not going to play too much longer.
Yeah.
When he stops, Novak's going to keep playing, so he's eventually going to pass.
Yeah, as long as Novak, keeps it up, keep winning, keep dominating, I think at the end of the day, when all 3 careers are done, I think we can say Novak, is number 1. Depending on how he finishes his career, he just got to finish strong.
But see, I can dig even a little bit deeper into it though. Even right now, him being 2 majors behind Nadal and 4 behind Federer, his head-to-head, he's up on both of them. Against Federer, he's 26 and 22, so it's close.
Yeah.
But he's still up, so he's got an edge on him. In addition to that, he's won 8 of the last 10 matches against Federer. He's been dominating.
Yeah, it looks like he's re-entering his prime at this point.
Yeah, against Nadal, like Djokovic against Nadal, he's 28 and 26 against him. So he's got a 2-match edge on Nadal and a 4-match edge on Federer head-to-head, and he's won 9 of the last 12 against Nadal. It's like he's got an edge on both of them. He came in after both of them.
Yeah, like he got the ability to beat both of them. He can beat both of them, legit.
Well, even in the head-to-head show,
Yeah.
he's won more against each of them.
But, like he said, he 32, he keep going, maybe 34, 35, he might surpass him, We just have to see in due time.
Yeah,
But,
the only thing that's keeping Nadal afloat, which I like Nadal better than the others, but, the numbers you can't argue against Djokovic. So, Nadal, he's the king of the clay. 12 French Opens, you can't beat him on clay. But if you're not at Roland Garros, then you can probably catch him. That's the only place where he owns everyone. So, even in their head-to-head, Nadal versus Federer, now that one is lopsided. Nadal's up 24 to 16.
Yeah.
And he's won 7 of the last 8. That last time, just in the semifinal of Wimbledon, that was the first time Federer beat him in quite some time. Even with Nadal won the last 7. So he was owning Fed.
Yeah.
But even Serena's coach, they came out and they did an interview after her match. They just kind of caught up with him asking. He was on quoted saying that Novak is better than Rafa and Roger when all 3 are at the top of their game. So he's giving it to him right now.
Yeah, I think if you put all your money on the line, a lot of people go with Novak.
Yeah, it's really it's almost impossible to argue against it. It gets to the point where I just like Nadal better, but I can't even statistically support my status other than the fact that Nadal has 2 more majors, but he's been playing for 2 more years.
Yeah.
That's the opportunity to play in 8 more majors.
Yeah, you get more opportunity.
Over 2 years.
Yeah. And being in different eras, really, eras just combined together.
Well, that's what's crazy about it.
Yeah.
So between Nadal, Federer, and Djokovic, it's easily the 3 best tennis players on the men's side that we've ever seen, and they're all playing at the same time.
Exactly.
You could imagine how many major victories any of the one of them would have if the other 2 weren't playing at the same time. Because you see how many times they've all played against each other.
It kind of remind me of Magic, Larry, and Jordan type. You got 3 legit superstar, greats.
But even then, it's like Mike didn't win any until they were both gone, basically. Magic was there for the first one, but he was 175 years old, and he was playing with that disease, so it's it's time for him to go.
Yeah.
They didn't really just get to go back and forth in the finals, just going for championships year after year after year. So I would definitely, I might have to get that to Novak.
Yeah. It ain't really no right or wrong answer with these. At the end of the day, time is going to tell us who's going to be the GOAT.
Yeah, but it looks like Novak is taking it right here before our eyes.
Yeah, Novak has been on another level lately. I got to give him that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's sticking with the tennis side. Serena. Man, she had a really good showing at Wimbledon all the way up until the final. I thought she had it under control. Halep is no joke. Selena is, I think she'd spent 64 weeks as the #1 ranked tennis player in the world, so it's not like she was a pushover. She was ranked number 7 in Wimbledon just coming in, but the actual tournament rankings and the world rankings are not the same.
Mm-hmm.
So, we watch Halep take out Coco Gauff, and I was saying then, that's not a shot to Coco. Halep is really, really good, and you saw she probably played the best tennis match that she's ever played in her life against Serena. She dominated her.
Sometimes you just get them days. You get that one game. That's all you need.
It's 6-2, 6-2. That was ugly.
Yeah.
I've seen her lose. You rarely see anyone beat Serena like that.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
But
like, man.
she gave her props. She played.
So what do you see moving forward with Serena? Like I asked about Djokovic being the greatest of all time. There's really no question of who's the greatest women's tennis player of all time. It's clearly Serena. She ran away with that. But has Father Time caught up with her?
I think it's slowly catching up to her, but I believe she's not gonna dominate as consistently as she's used to. Maybe every blue moon she might get a Grand Slam title, but you got some young up and coming tennis players. I've been watching the tournament, and it's just safe to say, like, I feel like she reminds me of like the Tom Brady. You know how Tom Brady, he might have a good game, in the playoffs, in the regular season he did.
Yeah.
He did lollygagging, but when they can turn it up when it's time.
She got smashed in the final though.
Yeah, she did. I feel like that's probably nutrition
That
and
like
age.
going out in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. I feel like, she probably had one of them days, nutrition, age might have caught up to it at one game. And
I don't know. There's multiple trains of thought there as to what's going on. I mean, it could be Father Time because, I mean, she is starting to get up in age a little bit. But, I mean, we all know that she did have a child.
Yeah.
And then she had
Motherhood.
complications after the fact. But I mean, since then, like, it's been a while. Like, she got her 23rd major, and since then, she's been making it to finals and getting taken out. I mean, over the past year, I mean, she just lost the Wimbledon final. She made it to the third round of the French. And she lost at the Australian Open in the quarters, and back in the U.S. Open, that was when she had just won her 23rd major. She got up there against Osaka, and she got beat in the U.S. Open. And it seemed like that was like the beginning of this, where it's like, oh, like she's back, but she's not back.
See, it's not consistent.
Yeah.
It just comes and goes.
Like in between the Australian and the French, she retired 3 times. I mean, for those, I'm not saying she retired from the game of tennis.
Yeah.
I mean, like she could not continue on in the tournament at Indian Wells, the Miami Open, and the Italian Open. So all 3 of those tournaments, she retired after no more than 2 matches. So like she's really, really fighting to come back. So I guess all things being considered, I think she's actually doing great to keep making it as far as she is making it. It's just disheartening for those of us that are really big Serena fans.
You want to see her win
it off
it.
the court like that.
Yeah, it's that pride.
Yeah, I mean, she didn't even do what she normally does. Usually, when Serena's losing in a match, she'll throw the racket. She'll start cussing herself out, talking to herself. She'll take timeouts. Like she'll talk herself back into it
And elevate to another level.
Like she'll go psycho Serena on you.
Yeah, but it could be a lot of things. Off court issue. I mean, we just don't know at this point. But we just see what we see. I think it could be nutrition and a little age, and like you said, the complications from birth could all play a big part. But I still think she the GOAT. But she is going down a little bit.
We were only just discussing this where she's at this very moment. Like if we're actually witnessing the decline, like eventually Father Time comes to see everybody.
It's slowly happening though. I can agree with that.
When you have to be that athletic in your sport.
Tiger Woods.
Single sport, Gotta keep it moving.
Yeah, it's all on you. It's like, man, you got to be at the utmost conditions, and there's nobody else to save you. You can't pass the ball. It's all you.
Yeah.
Man, so I'm not going to give her that rating just yet. I think Serena's still working through the post-pregnancy issues and all of that. Her conditioning seems to be pretty good. She just needs to... I mean, I don't think she's going to stop till she gets 25. Because Margaret Court has 24. She has 23. She's going to win 2 more before she stops. I think if she gets 25, she might go ahead and hang it up. But she's not quitting until it happens.
Oh, yeah. She on a mission.
Right. Man, so speaking of the missions, my goodness. The NBA. But this is where I'm going to go with you. So I know everybody's like, I'm not going to just talk about every team. I want to talk about the best duos in the Western Conference, just on the West side. So don't hit me up and keep talking about Kevin Durant and Kyrie and Greek Freak and whoever else they got over there. So they got rid of Brogdon, but I'm like, no, they don't count because I'm talking about the West. Because we all know clearly whoever wins the finals next year is coming out of the West. So why are we even talking about these? So, man, we got LeBron James and Anthony Davis, Kawhi Leonard and Paul George with the Clippers. We got James Harden and Russell Westbrook. Well, that was the most recent of the blockbuster trades. You got Steph Curry and D'Angelo Russell. And you can insert Klay Thompson whenever he comes back, but for the greater part of the season, this is going to be Steph and D'Lo.
Yeah.
We've got Dame Lillard and C.J. McCollum, which usually get overlooked when we start talking about duos.
They
If
do.
they didn't have the number 3 seed in the West last year, Portland was really good. And
They had a
got
good
better.
year.
They picked up more people. They got Kent Bazemore and Hassan Whiteside. Those are some really key pickups. Then another one that you absolutely don't ever hear hit the table because we don't know what the health is, but Kristaps Porzingis and Luka Doncic. If Kristaps is healthy, Dallas is
That's gonna be
all of a sudden going
nasty.
to insert themselves into this picture. That's a nice little combo. Luka got Rookie of the Year. He absolutely deserved it. We were trying to make a case for Trey. It took him too long to get going.
Yeah.
But they both had great seasons. But Luka did it all year long, like right off the jump. So you can't even be mad at it. He earned it. So I can only expect he's going to get even better, especially with Porzingis on the court with him. It's actually going to open up the floor and make it easy.
It's gonna be showtime. They're gonna put on the show. They ain't gonna be running.
Then up in Utah, got Mike Conley and Donovan Mitchell.
I like that. That's a nice little duo.
Yeah, like the duos are everywhere. In Denver, you got Nikola Jokic and Paul Millsap.
Yeah.
That's probably not as big as the one, as all the rest of them, but it absolutely has to be mentioned.
Yeah, the Joker, he phenomenal. They front court on the Nuggets is just
Yeah.
they versatile. They can do it all.
Yes, that's 8 teams. Like that could be the Western Conference playoffs just with these duos.
Yeah.
That's completely discounting San Antonio. When's the last time they missed the playoffs?
And they got a team. I believe they got a team. They didn't miss a superstar, another all-star type play.
They got a coach that can push them
Yeah.
over the edge. So I'm like, man, what I'm really looking at is like, man, I think that coming out of the West, I think the number 1 seed is going to be Houston. I thought it was going to be Houston before they got Westbrook because they didn't make any moves. They were easily the second best team in the West last year when Golden State was still Golden State and they were still the same team. So all these brand new fly-by-night duos, they look great and I can't wait to watch them. But coming out the blocks, I think Houston has the least transition to make just because Harden wasn't really getting along with CP3 anyway. Him and Russ are friends. That's going to work wonderfully. And for all of those armchair quarterback people who sit around that there's not enough balls to go around. Westbrook doesn't pass. James Harden doesn't pass. Who do you think led the league in assists the last 3 years? And who do you think was number 2 in assists? They're kind of both from the same team.
On Houston.
They pass more than any other players in the league. That's over 20 assists per game combined. And for some reason, people seem to think that they can't share the ball. Basketball is going to be so easy for them. They also just picked up Tyson Chandler, still got Clint Capella, PJ Tucker, Eric Gordon. Like Houston has a squad.
Yeah. They had to do something though.
I think
They
Vegas
had
has
to do
them
something.
like 4th, either 3rd or 4th. They still have the Lakers. Well, actually, they moved the Lakers up ahead of the Clippers because the Clippers were the Vegas favorites right after they made their trade. And I guess after the Lakers filled out their roster, they slightly jumped ahead of them. So they got the Lakers as the favorite, the Clippers as second. I don't see it.
I don't see it either. Yeah. And I like the Lakers. I think the Clippers gonna be favored. They got 2 legit two-way
paper,
superstars that just gonna
On
get it.
paper, the Lakers look great.
Yeah.
They got a whole bunch of names, and they got people that just said they have health issues.
Yeah.
Like, there's never been a season where Anthony Davis didn't have like 5 different injuries.
Thank you.
He's
Finally,
always
somebody
got
said
something
it.
going on. It's an elbow, an ankle, a stomach, a finger.
You gotta stay healthy.
And it sounds like I'm exaggerating, but I'm not. He literally had all these injuries.
Oh, he missed time for that finger.
Yeah. He was a couple weeks over
Yeah.
a finger injury.
Mhm.
Kobe got a finger and he taped them together and then looked like a Trekkie and just started retooled his jump shot.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not coming out.
So yeah, I hope AD can stay healthy.
Yes, if we just assume that for this exercise, everyone is healthy and no one's going to get hurt, then I'll say the Lakers probably will be the number 2 team over there. Only because the Clippers have more chemistry going in,
Yeah.
but when you bring in Kawhi and Paul George,
It's gonna change.
they gotta figure it out too.
Yeah.
All of them are gonna have to figure some things out. So all things being equal, figuring it out, I'll go Houston, Lakers, Clippers, and then I like Portland after that. I'm not writing Golden State off. I'll take them in the 5 spot. I still think they're going to be really good. I mean, all they have to just D'Angelo Russell. He just has to hold it down a little bit until Clay gets back. He doesn't have to be a superstar.
I wouldn't want to play them in the first round
Just
anyway.
take some of the heat off of Steph. I mean, Steph could very well easily end up being the MVP next year because he's going to be shooting the ball like he was when KD went down.
Mm-hmm. He gonna go back to the old stuff.
So
Yeah,
he could be easily averaging in the mid-30s next season.
he finna. Yeah, he gonna have probably about 38. He might have 40.
Nah,
If James Harden get 36, I think Steph can get 40. Just all three.
Yeah, I think 40
Just depend on the
too
usage.
Nah, no 40. I'm not feeling that. I mean, Steph do be hooping, but 40 is a lot. Did you see like Harden went like 30-something straight games over 30 points?
I never seen such.
Yeah, and it still averaged out to 36. Like 40
Legit
is almost
30, yeah.
unattainable.
He was getting, yeah.
Nobody's done that since Wilt. And I mean, that's because he was 8 feet tall.
The dominant.
He was like literally like 2 feet taller than everybody else on the floor. It wasn't fair.
Literally grabbing 20 rebounds a game off rip.
Yeah, like at 40 points a game, Steph's legit gonna be a whole duo by himself.
You wouldn't need KD with that, then shoot.
Yeah, man. So, I mean, it's almost like I'm discrediting Utah because Utah is really good.
I like Utah.
I don't know that these teams. I don't know if Utah can get them, but I mean, you actually have to see it. They have their chemistry is the way they play ball. They don't have all the names like everybody else,
Yeah.
but they play
They play tough.
They play a real fundamentally sound brand of basketball, and bringing Mike Conley in, like he's very consistent.
That's gonna be that's gonna help Donovan Mitchell out so good. And then playing in Salt Lake City, that crowd gets you anyway.
Yeah.
They're gonna be a little tough team. They get everything right, they stay healthy. Donovan, elevate to another level.
Yeah,
I think
man,
they're gonna be nice.
all this movement in the West, man, like they got you excited for basketball
Yeah.
season. It's like, it's almost as excited as we are for football.
Oh yeah, it's up there with all the moves.
Yeah. I mean, they created us a lot to talk about over the summer.
Oh yeah, I done talked about more basketball than football in probably the last 6 years.
Yeah, like they really gonna have to. Like, I need them to play like on Tuesday and Wednesday and Friday, so I can. Don't put this stuff on while football is on. Y'all know you can't steal ratings from the NFL, and now you got all these people that everybody want to see. I've never really been concerned with watching that many regular season NBA games because it usually doesn't matter.
You don't.
There's always 2 or 3 teams on each side that you already know we're about to battle it out for the conference championship. But now there's so many teams in the West, they actually gonna have to take the season seriously. Ain't gonna be no load management for Kawhi. If he misses 22 games again, they're not gonna make the playoffs. It's not gonna be like, oh, you won't get a top seed. You won't even get in. There's too many good teams over there.
Too many good teams.
I mean, we didn't even mention the Pelicans. I don't think they're making a playoff push like that, but they're a young squad and they definitely have enough talent to beat you.
Yeah.
Well, that's depending on if Zion decides.
Like
that he's gonna
most
lose
teams in the
pounds.
West, you can't sleep on. All them teams, it's gonna be tough, battling for all them 8 seeds in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's gonna be a real beast trying to get in there.
You still got Minnesota out there. Know what Minnesota gonna do with Cat?
This is true.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Yeah, all of these squads, all in the West, that we haven't even touched on the East.
Yeah, don't need to touch
The
on
West
these.
can be deep, like through about 11 or 12.
Legit.
Like, there'd be very good teams that don't make the playoffs. Like, this might be one of those years where they really consider reseeding for the playoffs.
Yeah, if moves keep
'Cause,
doing like
it's,
this.
it's been tossed around quite a few times where they just take the top 16 records in the NBA and not from one side, because that would almost end up cutting like half of the Eastern Conference out. I mean, I think money-wise they wouldn't do it because that would completely destroy the East.
Half the country probably won't watch basketball because of that. If teams on the East ain't going to playoff every year, folks ain't gonna watch the West.
Mm-mm. I mean, there would be no reason for them to even be over there.
Ain't going to the games. Superstars ain't going over there. Everybody done moved back to the West. That's where everybody at.
Yeah, I mean, as all of them are currently constructed, I mean, I think just like I said, Steph is definitely going to have an MVP caliber season.
Oh.
I think LeBron is going to have one of the best seasons of his career in order to carry that team over there.
Yeah.
I think that's the West is gonna be it's gonna be hard because everybody's actually gonna have to play every game, or at least most of them. I mean, otherwise, like, your team will fall by the wayside. They need you.
And then you never know what's gonna happen. I heard they might try to buy out CP3. You never know. I don't see him in OKC at all. I don't see him playing in OKC.
I mean, it's possible he may end up out of Miami playing with Jimmy.
Yeah, I think he need to be on a contender. He ain't no all-star like he used to be, but he can still manage the game for you.
Well, I mean, Jimmy doesn't get along with anybody, and CP3 doesn't get along with anybody, so
Hey, perfect.
maybe that's the match for him.
Hey, I'm a Heat fan. I take it. I'm
Every
glad we got Butler.
Every team Chris Paul has been to, guys have complained about him, and then they've looked like they were the bad guy until he goes to the next place and the same thing happens.
I blame State Farm for it. The State Farm commercials do it to you.
I guess there won't be any more State Farm kitchen blow-ups with the beard silhouettes on the wall. Are they going to keep running that commercial?
They can't run that no more.
Nah, we got to get Westbrook in.
Yeah, Adidas, James Harden, and Russell all year.
My bad, I ran with the wrong person. We can't put Westbrook in the commercial. I guess we got to wait to see where Chris Paul goes. Maybe State Farm need to come save him.
Yeah.
Save his career.
Cliff come back.
Yeah, that's probably the only person he gets along with. So, man, y'all already know what time it is. I'm about to move y'all over to my favorite sport. Football, all day, every day. I've already talked about my division, so you don't have to worry